Hello, good afternoon. I'm Maddie Harvey. I hope you're enjoying the Yorkshire Yarn Fest today. I'm a knitwear designer and knitting teacher, and I'm based in Edinburgh. I love to help knitters develop their creativity and their confidence through my knitting patterns, knitting kits and online events. Everything that I'm going to show you today you can find via my website, which is maddieharveydesigns.com, and 10% of my profits on everything this weekend is going to go to my local food bank, which are called One Stop Shop, based in the Broomhouse area of Edinburgh, who provide food bank, and they have an advice line, lots of good stuff. So yeah, 10% of my profits will go there. So I'm going to start off by showing you some of my kits, beginning with this one that I'm wearing, which is called Columella. This is a big parallelogram style shawl, and it's knitted in 4-ply yarn from Cambrian wool. So it's quite a hard colour actually to get in the video, but that's pretty accurate. If I stand back a bit, you can see it better. So I'll just take it off and show you. It's really soft, and it's got a lovely drape to it. I just finished this last night and it was blocking overnight on my living room floor here. So it's a garter stitch rib pattern, which I love. It's my favourite kind of rib stitch because you only have to purl every second row instead of every row to get the nice rib. And then it's got these diagonal lines that are created with decreases and yarn over increases. So it's quite a simple pattern, but it's very effective, and it's quite addictive. You're doing one repeat after the other, and it has an increase and a decrease edge at each end, which makes it lovely to wear. So I have kits for this shawl over in my shop, and I have it in 3 different colourways. So this one is called Shawl. It's a lovely dark grey. Yeah, and I also have, oh, everything's falling over. I have a lovely muted turquoise. Now it's probably not quite as bright as it's coming out there. So this one is called Hafan, which I hope I'm pronouncing right. I guess it's a Welsh name. My Welsh is non-existent, so but it's the Cambrian yarns, Cambrian wool 4-ply, and it's lovely and soft, and it's got this great drape, especially when it's been blocked. So that's the turquoise. This is the shawl that I've knitted my sample in, and then this is reaching here. This is Keggin. This is a very pale grey, which is also beautiful, and actually the 3 of them go together quite nicely, don't they? Match my wallpaper. So that's Columella. That's a brand new kit, and that one's over in my shop, which you can get to via my website, maddieharveydesigns.com. And what I'll do is I'll just take this one off, and I'll tell you about some of the other shawl kits that I have just now. So I have got 2 other shawl kits in the shop at the moment. I have got my Loie Shawl, which is a big triangular shawl knitted in 2 colours. It's got a centre panel here, and then it has 2 edgings, this edging and this lace. And this one is knitted in 4-ply yarn, Jameson and Smith jumper weight. So I've got a few different colour combinations in the shop. I've got this one in the pink and orange, and then I've got a kind of grello option of the mustard and the pale grey. So there's those 2 up there. This one's possibly, well, I would say Columella was the simplest shawl. This is perhaps a kind of in-betweeny one, a bit slightly more complicated just because of the construction. And then I'll show you Loanin, which is another triangular shawl that has a slip stitch cable pattern running up. So you're repeating the pattern as you go, so you get into a nice rhythm, and it's got these nice big eyelets, and then at the end you've got a garter stitch border. This one's really big too. And this one's actually done using some more Jamieson and Smith yarn. This is their laceweight yarn, held together with a strand of Rico mohair silk. So there's a few different colour combinations for that one. This is a lovely pale blue, or you can have a lovely pale grey. So you hold them together, and in that kit you will get 4 balls of the Jamieson and Smith laceweight and 3 of the mohair. There's also a couple of blues. There's a sort of dark teal, and when you hold the 2 yarns together you get a really nice mottled effect, because they're not, although they're similar in colour, they're not exactly the same. And that's the blue, which is really lovely too. So that's called Loanin. So there's a few of those in different colours over in the shop. Patterns are also, you can get patterns via the website. Somebody's asking that in the comments. Yeah, my patterns are on Ravelry as well, but if you go to my website maddieharveydesigns.com, then you'll find them all. So this one is called Loanin. The first one I showed you is called Columella, and actually it was in Making Stories magazine. This was the first issue from 2019. So if you have that magazine, you already have that pattern. And the kits in the shop, you can have, there's various different options for the patterns. You can have a printed pattern, or you can have a PDF pattern. So, okay, so that's the shawls. I will move on now to hats. I have one hat kit in the shop at the moment. This is called the Soft Hearted Hat. Again, this is done in the Jamieson and Smith jumper weight 4-ply. So it's got a slip stitch, it's a garter stitch background with slip stitches, and then you do a little bit of lace here just to sort of knit 2 together and a yarn over, and it's done in the round. So it looks quite different, done in different combinations. So that's quite a subtle one in the pale pink and pale grey, or you can go quite bold with the dark grey and mustard. And I've got loads of combinations of that one in the shop. And actually I've been seeing all these Bernie Sanders mitts and jumpers and whatnot recently, and I realised that I have got a chocolate brown and an oatmeal brown combination for that hat. If you wanted to make yourself a hat to match your Bernie mittens, this would be a good one to choose. So yeah, there's loads of combinations for that one. I also have my rose thorn mitts as a kit. So these are fingerless mitts that come in 3 different sizes, and there's 3 different colour combinations for these. So you can have the dark red and the cream, or you can go for a really nice blue, sort of turquoise blue and a navy, or you could have, of course, a grello combination with the grey, silver grey, and the mustard. And they are done, this is Jamieson and Smith worsted weight Aran. So they're nice and chunky, they knit up quickly, and the pattern is done using slip stitches and sort of striping. You can kind of see the stripes on the side there, and they're done in the round. So that's a nice quick knit if you're needing some mitts. Still quite cold, well it is in Edinburgh anyway, so you might be wanting some mitts, and there's kits for those in the shop too. Okay, now the other thing I have a kit for just now is a beginner's knitter kit, if you're looking for that kind of thing, maybe for a present for somebody. So I have a really great kit which includes some Rowan big wool, so nice and chunky. You will get a Rowan book of the basics of knitting. It's a really good one. It shows you how to get started, and I'll also send you access to Rowan's Let's Knit online course, which is actually aimed at kids, but it's brilliant for adults as well. And the suggested pattern that you make out of there is this gorgeous beanie, and you have the option to add in an alpaca pom-pom as well. So, and it all comes in a nice Rowan gift bag, so it would be a great present for somebody. So I have I actually only have a few. I've got one of these lovely dusky pinks, I've got a deep purple and a gorgeous olive colour, so that one's there too. Somebody's asking about ordering blue and yellow. I think that's maybe for the mitts. If you want a colour combination that I don't have in the shop, just send me a message and I can make you a custom order. I can take a little photo of the colours together so that you can check, and then I'll put up a custom listing for you. Okay, right. And now some people have mentioned the jumper that I'm wearing, so I'll just show you a couple of jumper patterns that I have. So this one is called the Ama sweater, so A-M-A, and it's knitted in double knit yarn. This one's done in yarn from the Wool Kitchen, and it has this pearl stitch across the top in the contrast colour, and it has a colour block effect on the sleeves and the hem. It comes in 8 sizes, and there's quite a lot of these on Ravelry. If you go and have a look, you'll get a good range of body shapes and different fits and different colour combinations as well. And the other jumper I'll show you is this one, which is called Columella. It is a textured, a sort of slip stitch, garter stitch texture yoke. I'll just take it off here so that I can show you close up. And it's double knit, and it's knitted in Rowan Murdale yarn, which has got a lovely drape. And it has a couple of different options for the hem. This one you can make a cropped one, or you can have a dipped hem at the back. So that's called Columella. I'll fix her later, preserve her modesty later on. Okay, and I'll show you a couple of other shawl patterns that you might like, that are especially good for springtime, because I think it's nice to be looking forward to some spring colours and things like that just now, isn't it? So I have got the Quiescence shawl, which is knitted in double knit yarn from, this is done in yarn from the Kettle Yarn Company, who were earlier, Linda was on earlier on, I was watching a bit of her slot. So it's got these little, they are supposed to be representing little seeds. Quiescence is when seeds are waiting in the soil to burst into life. So that's the kind of inspiration behind that, and it's got all these fun tassels at the bottom. So that one's called Quiescence. That one, you'll spot that one a mile off in my Ravelry shop, because it's the only one that's bright green. But it's a lovely colour for spring, and it's nice to be thinking about things starting to grow again with that little motif. And then this one is called Little Golden Moments, which I released in March last year, just when we were going into lockdown in the UK for the first time. And I was trying to stay positive and spot the little golden moments in my day. So it's got, again, slip stitches and yarn overs, and it's got this little clam stitch. And this one's done in yarn from Botanical Yarn, Sophie, who was the very first vendor today. And it's got this really cool edging, hold it up, where you do a lot of increasing before you cast off. So that's that one. And then if you fancy a free pattern, you can sign up to my mailing list on my website, maddieharveydesigns.com, and you will get this SOS cowl pattern for free. It is knitted sideways, and it's designed for knitting with either scrap yarn or with mini skeins, and you can do a single loop like this one, or you can do a double loop. It's really customizable. This one's done with a background yarn and then 5 grams of scraps striped, but you can do a full-on scraps version, and that's free for everybody who signs up to my mailing list, and it's maddieharveydesigns.com. I think that's time for me to finish up. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of the day watching the Yorkshire Yarn Fest, and my video will be up on their grid shortly. Okay, thanks, bye.